Hello, everyone. Welcome to Emotional Intelligence Made Simple. My name is Angelica, and today we'll be talking about the models of emotional intelligence. Now, the models are just talking about the different ideas and concepts that people have about emotional intelligence, the different definitions based on people's study and understanding and research. Different people have come up and they said different things, different ideas on what emotional intelligence actually means. So that's what we are going to look at because these models are very important. They tell us the different ideas that people have on emotional intelligence. Then you will now look at them and decide which one actually suits what you believe about emotional intelligence. There are three models: the ability model, the trait model, and the mixed model. Today we'll be looking at just the ability model to know or to understand what it actually means. Now, the ability model was first developed by Peter Salovey and John Mayer. These two people were the first to develop it. After then, a lot of people have studied it and they've brought about different things. It has been criticized. The ability model is looked at as the most studied and the most criticized of the three models. The ability model is said to be looked at the level of intelligence, normal intelligence, which means, of course, it can be learned. That's what the proponents of ability models say, that it can be learned just the way a child will learn fractions, and you learn different ways of doing things. That's the way the ability model is looked at, that you can learn how to develop emotional intelligence. You can learn. It's not something that they believe that it's not something you're born with. It's based on how you're able to learn and imbibe these new ways in order to be emotionally intelligent. Now, they also say that to be emotionally intelligent, you need to possess certain competencies. That's what the ability model is all about. These competencies that they believe that you can imbibe to make you emotionally intelligent. The competencies include perceiving emotions, facilitating emotions, understanding emotions, and managing emotions. Perceiving emotions simply means, are you able to see and understand the way a person feels? Through just looking at someone, can you tell whether this person is sad or angry or happy or stressed or very scared? Are you able to sense the emotion behind the look? Are you able to sense both verbal and non-verbal cues? Are you able to see, okay, when someone slumps the shoulders or frowns? Are you able to understand the emotion that is being transmitted through that gesture? Also, are you able to sense the emotion behind a text message? Are you able to sense the emotion behind an email? All these things are part of the facilitating and perceiving emotions. Are you able to perceive what the emotion is behind what the person is doing, what you're seeing on the person's face? That's what it means to perceive emotions. Now, according to the ability model, you can learn this, and there are really a lot of ways you can. There are people that teach you how to understand, eh, when someone bends their head, when someone gesticulates, when you ask a question and someone bends before responding. All those things mean something. So, are you able to perceive these emotions? That's what makes you stand out. That's what makes you emotionally intelligent. Now, to facilitate emotions, do you know what to do with those emotions? Okay, you have looked at this person and you can see that this person is sad. Do you know how to use those emotions to make the right decisions, to make wise decisions for yourself and for probably the company around you and the people around you? That's what facilitating emotions is all about. Your ability to use those emotions, the emotions in other people, the emotions in yourself, to make decisions. Some may look at this as being deceptive, but of course there are still downsides. There are people that have come to emotional intelligence and they've seen some downsides of it, how people can be deceptive using emotional intelligence. But right now we are talking about the models, how you can develop it. We'll come to a point where we'll talk about the downsides and how you can control it so that you will not go into manipulating people's emotions. No, we are not into that. We are talking about how you can adequately understand emotions, use them to make wise decisions. That's what makes you stand out as being emotionally intelligent. Now, to facilitate emotions, you can use those emotions. For instance, a child coming into the house and seeing the parents, and they are very happy, and being in a particular type of mood, and then the child picks it at that time and decides to make a request from the parents. The child is emotionally intelligent. You can't make a request from your parents when they are angry, probably shouting at each other. Then you come and say, "Hey dad, you promised me a bicycle." That will not be the right time. Also, a marketer knowing when exactly to seal the deal. You've been talking with this client over a period of time, and you understand this person's temperament. You know the way this person feels. You know even the place the person goes for his or her leisure. So now you should you should be able to understand the emotions the person feels at that time and make use of it at the right time. Some people might be able to seal the deal when their client is in a relaxed mood. When you're talking with a client for up to 10 minutes, and then you see the client has become quiet and is listening to you quietly and nodding, the questions have reduced, you've answered most of the questions, then you sense it that this is the time to strike and seal the deal at that time. Just close the deal. So all these things are being taught under emotional intelligence, under the ability model, to understand how to use the emotions that the client is feeling to make your decisions for your own good and good of the people around you. The next is understanding emotions. It's possible to be able to, to perceive an emotion and not fully understand what those emotions mean. Do you understand that emotions lead to actions? Do you understand that the feeling of fear can lead to someone withdrawing? Do you understand that the feeling of being underappreciated can lead to someone reducing the person's input in the workplace? You need to understand the emotions. You need to understand how complex emotions are. You need to understand how some emotions lead to actions. For instance, being very upset and then saying some terrible things to somebody you love will lead to regret later. Now, let's look at this. You come into your office as a supervisor, and you see that your staff is feeling very sad, is feeling down. The first thing to do, instead of dishing out all the things that he or she is supposed to do that day, you will try to crack a joke. Make him relax a bit before you go into the activity of the day. I assure you, everybody will be more productive that day. The work environment is not supposed to be very tense all the time. You need to strike a balance so that you get the most productive, make your staff be productive at all times of the day. That's what it means to understand emotions. You need to understand the way even your clients feel. Understand how their emotions lead to actions so that you will not judge. This helps people to be less judgmental. Now, we'll talk about, okay, managing emotions. Are you able to manage the emotions? What managing emotions means is, are you aware of when our emotions are influencing us? Do you know when your anger is getting too much? When you start throwing things and destroying things that you bought with your money? Do you know, are you able to take control at that moment and say, no, I won't let this emotion harm me to this extent? Are you able to control your emotions? Are you able to allow yourself to learn from the emotions that you have felt, or learn from the emotions that other people have felt, that you have seen, that you've witnessed? For instance, the client who didn't close the staff who didn't close the deal at the right time. The next time you meet such a client, you will know at what point you'll be able to know when to push, when to hold on, when to talk, when to keep quiet, when to allow the client some moments to think. All these things, you learn them over a period of time, through practice, through continuous coaching. Then you become fully emotionally intelligent. That's what the ability model is all about. The ability model believes that you can learn all these. You can learn how to be emotionally intelligent. You don't have to be born with it. It's not something that is inside your traits, it's not something that is in your genes. It's something that you can learn. You can go through tutors, you can go through coaches, but at the end of the day, you'll be emotionally intelligent and it will help you in all aspects of your life. Now, there's a test that is used to assess people's problem solving abilities. It's called the MSCEIT. It was developed by Meyer, Salovey, and Caruso. It's Meyer, Salovey, and Caruso Emotional Intelligence Test. Now, this test, what it basically does is assess how you can solve problems, how you can blend your emotions and make the right decisions, how you can look at the situation and then consider the emotions of all the people involved, and then make the right decision. That's what this MSCIT is. In this test, actually the test is scored based on what is accepted as the norm, what is socially accepted. I'll give you an instance of the kind of thing you see in an MSCIT. You can see, you could be given a picture and then maybe a drawing of maybe a trees or a serene environment, and then you're asked the emotion that emits from that picture, the emotion you feel when you look at that picture. You can also be giving someone with an expression, maybe smiling or sad or angry, very angry, and then you're asked to interpret the emotion that you can feel looking at that picture. These are all part of the MSCIT. Now, let me give you a question. Joan felt stressed and became a bit anxious when she thought about all the work she needed to do. When her manager brought her an additional project, she felt dash. You need to put in the emotion she felt. Now, there's overwhelmed, there's ashamed, there's depressed, there's jittery, and there's self conscious. The answer there is overwhelmed. Now, she's already overwhelmed. She has a lot to do. She probably didn't complete her task of the day before. And then she comes and then she's just thinking about how to do it. If her manager comes and adds more work to her, she's going to, of course, feel overwhelmed. So that's how you understand. Gradually, you'll be able to understand different emotions and what they mean. Of course, like I said, there have been some criticisms of this model. Some people say that the ability model relies so much on intelligence that it's supposed to be separate from our normal intelligence, our IQ. So, but it's looked at. You need to think and think and think that it needs to be shifted away from the whole thinking thing and the normal intelligence. That's what some people have said about the ability model. Also, the MSCEIT has been criticized too. It has been looked at that it does not predict job performances. There are some companies that use this for their recruitment process, but some critics have said that it doesn't, at the end of the day, show how well or how poorly a staff will perform on the job. Now, this is just a brief breakdown of what the ability model is all about. I hope you've learned something today. This is emotional intelligence made simple. Next time, we'll talk about the trait model, then we'll talk about the mixed model. And as we go along, you look at all the models and tell me which one you actually believe is what emotional intelligence totally depicts. Thank you very much for listening today. Please subscribe and share, like, leave your comments. I'd like to hear your feedback. Thank you very much and goodbye.